My child, my beloved, something is stirring in the heavens, and I come to you not with ordinary words but with the divine urgency of a messenger who has seen what was whispered behind your back and what was finally confessed, through tears and trembling lips. You keep ignoring his signs, you've pushed away the nudges, the dreams, the quiet pain that rose in your chest for no reason, but this time, heaven is intervening. What I am about to share with you is not something I was allowed to speak before, not because you didn't deserve it, but because you weren't ready to hear what was truly being hidden from you. But now, God says your soul is strong enough. Your heart has been trained through fire, betrayal, patience, and loss. And now, it is time for you to hear the truth. Before I reveal it, I must tell you this one sacred thing: if you're reading these words, it is because heaven chose you to see them, not everyone else. This message was delayed for others, but for you, it was carved into the calendar of heaven on this very day. Archangel Michael stands not beside you, but in front of you, covering you with a shield of fire and truth, so the lies that once danced around you like shadows will finally dissolve. And right here, before you continue, you must do one thing that changes everything: subscribe right now. Not for me. Not even for yourself. But because this act, this one simple moment, becomes a signal to heaven that you're ready to receive the full truth without walking away. It shows you're not just a listener but a vessel for the miracle that's about to enter your atmosphere. My child, my beloved, the person you've been crying over, the one who stood so close, smiled so purely, said the right words, showed the right care, was carrying something in secret. A confession has been made, and it wasn't whispered to a priest or passed in quiet shame. It was loud enough for the heavens to hear. And I, Michael, with my sword of truth, was present when it happened. You see, what they said, what they finally admitted, has the power to destroy the false image you've been holding on to. But this message is not meant to destroy you, it is here to deliver you. You've been blinded by loyalty. You've called it love. But in reality, it was a spiritual fog placed over your eyes by the enemy so you wouldn't notice the slow erosion of your confidence, your clarity, your destiny. What they confessed, child, was this: they never thought you would find out. They didn't believe heaven would speak. But heaven speaks for the voiceless. Heaven defends the ones who suffer in silence. And heaven is speaking now. They admitted they used your kindness. That they pretended to believe in your dreams while mocking them in conversations behind your back. They smiled, but not all smiles come from light. Some are masks. And now that their mask is breaking, their fear is rising. Because this moment, this exact moment, was shown to me in the Spirit. The moment you would open this message. The moment you would see what they confessed, and the moment the divine courtroom would prepare your release from the manipulation that has wrapped around your soul like invisible chains. My child, my beloved, God is not late. That delay you've been living through was not a denial. It was a divine protection. Because if your breakthrough had come while that person was still close to you, they would have stolen your joy and worn it like a costume. They would have celebrated in public with you and cursed your name in private. And so heaven delayed your miracle, not to punish you, but to shield you. But now the shield has lifted. The skies are parting. And I am begging you, do not ignore this again. I say this with tears, because every time you skipped the message, every time you said, maybe later, another door closed in your life, and you didn't even know it. But this is the last door. The one that leads to truth. To revelation. To exposure. And to victory. My child, my beloved, the person's name was not spoken here. But you already feel them in your spirit, don't you? That uneasy stirring in your heart right now, that's not fear. That's confirmation. That's the Spirit of God rising up in you, giving you discernment to know what's real and what was deception. You may feel tempted to call them, to ask for their version, to get their explanation. But I beg you, don't. Because what they'll say will be another performance. This time, heaven wants you to walk by what's revealed in the Spirit, not what's seen by the eyes. What they confessed was not just about you, it was about their guilt, their pattern, their addiction to being near light while still living in darkness. You were the light. And now it's time to stop dimming for someone who was never going to rise with you. My child, my beloved, the Lord is preparing a full divine reversal in your life. What you lost, what they took, what was poisoned by lies, God is getting ready to return it all, multiplied. But only if you obey the sign. Only if you don't ignore this moment. Because your blessing is not delayed anymore. It's already on the move. And what's coming is not small. A new relationship that doesn't hide things in secret. A financial door that was held back for this exact reason. A peace so deep that the weight you've carried for months will finally dissolve. But it hinges on this: you must receive the truth, let go of the lie, and open your heart fully to the new thing God is doing. You can't receive with clenched fists. Let go, my child. Let go. My child, my beloved, I must warn you with the love of heaven that if you walk away from this message unfinished, you may return to the very cycle God is trying to break you out of. This message was not meant for a quick glance or casual reading. This message was planned in the divine scroll of time, and the moment you began reading it, I was commanded to speak to you without holding back. Not everyone is chosen to receive such truth. Many still sleep in illusion. Many still decorate their prisons and call it peace. But you were called to awaken. You were chosen to see behind the veil. You were marked to walk in truth, even if the truth hurts at first, because heaven knows what comes after: healing, freedom, and the birth of your real story. My child, my beloved, I must warn you with the love of heaven that if you walk away from this message unfinished, you may return to the very cycle God is trying to break you out of. This message was not meant for a quick glance or casual reading. This message was planned in the divine scroll of time, and the moment you began reading it, I was commanded to speak to you without holding back. Not everyone is chosen to receive such truth. Many still sleep in illusion. Many still decorate their prisons and call it peace. But you were called to awaken. You were chosen to see behind the veil. You were marked to walk in truth, even if the truth hurts at first, because heaven knows what comes after: healing, freedom, and the birth of your real story. What they confessed, child, went even deeper than what you've guessed. It was not just about what they did to you, but what they said about your soul when they thought no one was listening. But I was. I, Michael, heard the sentence that shattered the honor they once claimed to have for you. And what crushed heaven's heart most was not the action: they are human and capable of weakness, but it was the cruelty of their intention. They wanted power over you. They wanted your presence but not your elevation. They feared what would happen if you realized how valuable you truly are. Because the moment you see your own divine worth, you become impossible to manipulate. My child, my beloved, you felt it, haven't you? The strange fatigue when you were around them. The way your dreams seemed smaller when they were close. The way your voice trembled when you tried to speak up. That was not coincidence. That was not anxiety. That was your spirit trying to protect you from a presence that was not sent to build you, but to benefit from you. You were an answered prayer for someone who forgot how to pray. You were a safe haven for a heart that didn't know how to protect you back. And now God says, no more. No more pretending. No more waiting. No more hoping they will change. This is the line in the sand. And heaven is standing on your side of it. You need to know, sweet soul, that even now as you read this, a shift is occurring in the spiritual realm. Chains are breaking. Old contracts, soul ties that were formed in silence, are being shattered. Someone who bound themselves to you in deception is losing their grip. You may feel it as tears. You may feel it as dizziness. You may feel it as a sudden flood of memories, but don't be afraid. That's the sign that deliverance has begun. The pain is not punishment. The shaking is not chaos. It's the sound of your prison door opening. You are walking out. And when you do, the version of you that once settled for less will never return. My child, my beloved, I must tell you now, the next 3 days are sacred. What you choose to think about, speak about, and pray about will echo louder than ever. You are in a divine window where heaven has chosen to reverse what was stolen. But there's a condition. You must not go back to what you were rescued from. Even if they cry. Even if they apologize. Even if they say they saw this message too. They might try. But this message was written only for your soul. This is your sign, not theirs. You cannot carry someone else's awakening while still fighting to stay awake yourself. Your only job now is to follow the light. Follow the peace. Follow the truth. And let go of anything, no matter how familiar, that disturbs it. What they confessed, child, is now known in the courts of heaven. And when heaven hears a confession, it doesn't just judge, it restores. It cleanses. It prepares. And that's what is happening for you. Behind the scenes, the angels have been assigned. Your name has been spoken by the one who formed the stars. A blessing that was withheld is now moving toward your house. But I beg you, don't miss the door it's coming through. This door is not loud. It won't look how you expect. It may come in the form of a strange opportunity, a conversation, a sudden invitation, a dream tonight. Pay attention. It will not knock twice. My child, my beloved, I will continue speaking to you. I will reveal what else they said, what else is hidden, what heaven is preparing, and what this message will trigger within the next 12 hours. But you must stay until the end. This is not a story. This is not a performance. This is your rescue. A divine interruption. And if you leave too soon, you may not see the evidence heaven is about to place in front of your eyes. I promise you, if you listen, really listen, and allow your heart to remain open, a miracle will occur that confirms every word you're reading. This is not the end. This is the beginning of the life you were meant to live. My child, my beloved, I need you to take a deep breath right now, because the words that follow are not just for your ears, they are for your soul. They are alive. They are burning with holy fire. They will not just touch you, they will transform you. For too long, you have been carrying the weight of silence, the kind of silence that comes from knowing something was wrong, but not having the proof to say it. Heaven saw that. I saw that. And I was dispatched not just to speak, but to break the silence for you. You have suffered in rooms that were supposed to be safe. You have been overlooked in places where you gave your whole heart. And this person you trusted, they never thought the veil would lift. But it has. It is gone. And now, you are seeing everything as it truly is. Their confession is still echoing in the spirit realm. I must tell you what they said next. With a trembling voice and a guilty spirit, they admitted that their jealousy of you was older than their love for you. Can you imagine, child, what that means? While you were pouring your loyalty, they were calculating how to keep you close, but never above them. They said you were too bright. That if you ever truly stepped into your full light, they would be forgotten. And that is why they subtly dimmed your flame. That's why they gave compliments with hidden arrows. That's why they made you doubt your calling, question your beauty, shrink your dreams. Because deep down, they were never rooting for your rise. They were addicted to your struggle, because it made them feel powerful. And now, that addiction is broken. The chain is shattered. Heaven has removed the blindfold from your spirit. Their confession is still echoing in the spirit realm. I must tell you what they said next. With a trembling voice and a guilty spirit, they admitted that their jealousy of you was older than their love for you. Can you imagine, child, what that means? While you were pouring your loyalty, they were calculating how to keep you close, but never above them. They said you were too bright. That if you ever truly stepped into your full light, they would be forgotten. And that is why they subtly dimmed your flame. That's why they gave compliments with hidden arrows. That's why they made you doubt your calling, question your beauty, shrink your dreams. Because deep down, they were never rooting for your rise. They were addicted to your struggle, because it made them feel powerful. And now, that addiction is broken. The chain is shattered. Heaven has removed the blindfold from your spirit. My child, my beloved, I know how much this hurts. You wanted it to be real. You prayed that it would turn around. You held on so tightly to the little glimpses of goodness they showed you, but child, even darkness can mimic light. Even wolves wear sheep's clothing. And now that the truth is out, you must choose what to do with it. Will you mourn what could have been, or will you rise into what is now being given? I tell you with holy certainty, if you let go of what was never truly for you, something so pure, so golden, so divinely tailored will take its place. This is not just the ending of deception, it is the birthing of your real season. A season where people love you without agenda. A season where your name is not whispered in gossip, but spoken in reverence. A season where everything the enemy delayed will be released all at once. I want you to listen carefully now. The person you are thinking about, they are feeling the weight of their confession. They feel exposed. And they may try to come back into your life with words dipped in honey. They may say they've changed. They may claim they had no idea how deeply they hurt you. But don't be deceived by sudden sweetness. True change takes time. And right now, God is doing something that doesn't involve their presence. This next blessing requires a pure atmosphere, a clear heart, and no shadow lingering near your joy. I am standing guard. I will not allow the same pain to enter twice. But you must cooperate with heaven's decision. Do not reopen a door that God has shut. Do not invite in a voice that once disguised truth with charm. My child, my beloved, there is someone new entering your life, and this person will be unlike anything you've known. They will carry healing in their eyes. They will honor your dreams. They will celebrate your wins without insecurity. They will hold your hand without needing to control your journey. But they will not come if you keep holding space for what hurt you. So make room. Make space in your energy, in your thinking, in your schedule. Make space by clearing out what is expired. Heaven never leaves you empty. If something is being removed, it's because something greater has been sent. And I tell you now, without hesitation, it's already near. The miracle is not on its way. It is at the door. But only those who believe, who truly believe, will open it. My child, my beloved, even now, as these words sink into your spirit, something in the atmosphere is shifting. You may not feel it instantly, but your soul knows it. It's the release you've been praying for. It's the unspoken desire you couldn't even put into words because the pain of betrayal was too heavy to touch. But heaven is not afraid of your wounds. Heaven sees where your tears dried on your pillow without anyone noticing. Heaven remembers the moments you smiled in public even when you felt forgotten in private. And child, I say this with divine fire in my voice, what happened to you was never your fault. You did not deserve the deception. You did not invite the betrayal. You were good. You were honest. You were loyal. But now, God is repaying you for every secret heartbreak that tried to dim your light. The person's confession reached a level that stunned even those around them. They admitted that your presence always made them feel exposed, not because you shamed them, but because your purity reflected their shadows. And instead of learning from your light, they chose to resist it. They covered it with false closeness. They wrapped their envy in smiles. But heaven is no longer tolerating this energy around you. You were called to be elevated. You were chosen to carry a message in your life. And anything that drains you without filling you, is being removed. You don't have to fight. You don't have to explain. Just walk forward now, because heaven is fighting for you, and I, Michael, have drawn my sword in your name. My child, my beloved, there is something I must prepare you for. In the coming hours, you may receive a sign. A message. A ping. A sudden dream. Someone from your past may reach out just as you're healing. That's not coincidence, that's spiritual timing. And you must remember, not everything that returns is meant to be received again. Sometimes the test is not whether you can let go. The test is whether you'll reopen what heaven has already closed. If you respond too quickly, the blessing that was circling your name may be delayed again. But if you stand firm, with clarity and truth, heaven will know you're ready. You must trust the silence after separation. It's in that silence that God does the deepest restoration. They confessed, child, that they never expected you to find out. And now they are afraid, not just of losing you, but of losing access to the energy they used to feed on. They said it out loud, I didn't think they'd ever know. But you do now. And knowing is your power. Your awakening is their exposure. But your goal is not revenge, it's release. Let God handle the justice. You don't have to prove anything to anyone anymore. Your elevation will be your evidence. Your peace will be your answer. And your glow, your return to yourself, will be the loudest response of all. My child, my beloved, there is something I must prepare you for. In the coming hours, you may receive a sign. A message. A ping. A sudden dream. Someone from your past may reach out just as you're healing. That's not coincidence, that's spiritual timing. And you must remember, not everything that returns is meant to be received again. Sometimes the test is not whether you can let go. The test is whether you'll reopen what heaven has already closed. If you respond too quickly, the blessing that was circling your name may be delayed again. But if you stand firm, with clarity and truth, heaven will know you're ready. You must trust the silence after separation. It's in that silence that God does the deepest restoration. They confessed, child, that they never expected you to find out. And now they are afraid, not just of losing you, but of losing access to the energy they used to feed on. They said it out loud, I didn't think they'd ever know. But you do now. And knowing is your power. Your awakening is their exposure. But your goal is not revenge, it's release. Let God handle the justice. You don't have to prove anything to anyone anymore. Your elevation will be your evidence. Your peace will be your answer. And your glow, your return to yourself, will be the loudest response of all. My child, my beloved, I say this next part with trembling, because it is holy. A gate has opened over your name. A spiritual inheritance that was locked for years because of wrong connections has finally been activated. You may feel a pressure on your chest. You may feel heat in your hands. That is not fear, that is divine alignment. The old cycle is breaking. The old limitation is falling off. And now, something new is arriving. It will come in threes. 3 opportunities. 3 confirmations. 3 miracles. But they will only appear if your heart remains open and you don't return to the false version of yourself you had to create just to survive that connection. You don't need to beg for love anymore. You don't need to lower your voice to make others feel taller. You are chosen. And it's time you start walking like it. My child, my beloved, I must now speak to your spirit about the shift that was never supposed to be delayed this long. This blessing had your name on it for years, but every time your heart was entangled with someone whose confession stayed buried, that blessing circled above you, waiting for the storm to pass. And now it has. The confession was not just about betrayal, it was about blockage. The very person you prayed for, helped, defended, gave grace to, was unknowingly standing between you and your next chapter. Not because God wanted to punish you, but because heaven couldn't pour something sacred into a space that wasn't fully open. And now, as you sit here, reading these words, something holy is happening behind the scenes. A file has been opened with your name. A spiritual case has been decided. And heaven is saying, let it be released. They're ready now. What they said in the spiritual realm was shocking even to those who heard it. They confessed not only to hiding things from you, but also to copying your words, imitating your glow, and secretly hoping you would fail. The one who told you they were proud of you, was terrified of your potential. The one who said they'd never leave, had already started planning their next move before they even praised your last one. This is not to hurt you, my beloved, it is to wake you. To open your spiritual eyes to the truth that your intuition tried to tell you over and over. That stomach twist? That hesitation before replying to their message? That sense of emptiness after talking to them? That wasn't paranoia. That was the Holy Spirit trying to prepare you for this exact message. And now that you know, you must protect what's next with everything you have. My child, my beloved, please don't misunderstand this moment. It is not about bitterness. It is about birth. This is the moment where you start again, not from scratch, but from experience. From clarity. From fire-tested wisdom. You have a different aura now. You've walked through spiritual fire and didn't burn. You cried on nights no one knew and still showed up glowing. You were breaking inside, and yet people found healing in your smile. Do you understand how powerful that is? Do you understand why the enemy targeted your relationships so deeply? Because if he couldn't stop your light, he wanted to dim it by placing the wrong mirrors around you, people who reflected back insecurity, instead of truth. But now those mirrors are broken. The fog is gone. And you're standing at the edge of everything you prayed for, but only if you step forward. Listen to me closely, child. A financial miracle is about to be released. A document is about to be signed. A conversation you didn't expect is going to change your status. But the key to unlocking all of it is silence. You must not tell anyone. Not yet. Not even the ones who seem to care. This next miracle requires secrecy. Because not everyone will celebrate your freedom. Not everyone who clapped for you in the past wants you to rise again. Some people were assigned to your old season only. And now, as you're stepping into your anointing, heaven is narrowing your circle. This is not punishment. This is protection. You are stepping into favor that eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, and hearts cannot comprehend. But you must carry it with quiet strength. Let your results speak. Let your glow answer every doubt. Let heaven do the talking on your behalf. My child, my beloved, the next 72 hours are crucial. In this small window of time, something divine will try to reach you, but it will not come in loud thunder or flashing signs. It will come in subtle ways. A strange email. A new name mentioned 3 times. A moment of peace during prayer. A dream where someone whispers a location or a number. Watch carefully. Because one of these moments will carry the instruction that unlocks your turnaround. But here's the key: if you doubt it, if you push it aside, if you let fear make the decision, the moment will pass. So stay aware. Stay expectant. And stay clean, clean in heart, clean in thought, clean in motive. Do not return to gossip. Do not return to replaying the old pain. What's coming is too holy to be hosted in bitterness. Make room for it. My child, my beloved, the next 72 hours are crucial. In this small window of time, something divine will try to reach you, but it will not come in loud thunder or flashing signs. It will come in subtle ways. A strange email. A new name mentioned 3 times. A moment of peace during prayer. A dream where someone whispers a location or a number. Watch carefully. Because one of these moments will carry the instruction that unlocks your turnaround. But here's the key: if you doubt it, if you push it aside, if you let fear make the decision, the moment will pass. So stay aware. Stay expectant. And stay clean, clean in heart, clean in thought, clean in motive. Do not return to gossip. Do not return to replaying the old pain. What's coming is too holy to be hosted in bitterness. Make room for it. My child, my beloved, I need you to sit with this truth now, because what I'm about to reveal may feel like fire, but it's not meant to burn you. It's meant to forge you. The person who hurt you, the one whose confession pierced the heavens, is already trying to rewrite the story. They are seeking new ways to justify what they said. They're wondering how much you truly know. They are preparing their next version of the truth, not out of repentance, but out of self-preservation. I saw it. I watched as they turned to another and rehearsed their apology before even offering it to you. And heaven wept, not because they failed, but because they still do not understand the depth of your soul. You, who loved so completely. You, who gave so generously. You, who forgave even before they asked. They took that for granted. But heaven did not. Now, child, I must warn you. They may appear at your door, physically, digitally, emotionally. They may come dressed in remorse. They may say every right word. They may cry. They may even speak of dreams and signs they've received. And yet, your spirit will feel a heaviness when they speak. Pay attention to that. That is not guilt. That is your angelic team sending you a holy discomfort, reminding you that not every return is reconciliation. Some returns are tests. And this one will be a test unlike any you've had before. Because this time, you'll have to choose between what is familiar and what is faithful. Between what you used to pray for and what God is offering now. Don't confuse the two. Just because someone returns doesn't mean they've been redeemed. My child, my beloved, your real blessing is not behind you. It is ahead. And it's closer than you think. But if you open the wrong door again, even out of compassion, you may delay what was finally moving in your direction. God is not punishing you, He is positioning you. There's a reason everything feels tender right now. Your emotions are heightened. Your body is more sensitive. Even your sleep has been strange. That's not random. That's the spiritual tension of transition. You are being pulled out of old frequencies and into divine alignment. And anything that tries to drag you back into a version of yourself that no longer exists will be stripped away. Let it. Let it fall. Let them go. And in that release, heaven will pour in something so specific, so detailed, so tailor-made to your soul that it will silence every memory of the lie you once believed was love. They confessed something else too, my beloved. They said they always knew you had a destiny greater than theirs. And rather than walk beside you, they wanted to anchor you in place so you wouldn't rise too fast. But what they didn't know is that your rising was never in your hands, it was in God's. And no matter how many delays, distractions, or disappointments stood in the way, heaven preserved your elevation. Even now, as your spirit wakes up to these words, angels are moving around your home. They are rearranging the atmosphere. They are removing objects, shifting thoughts, purging what is not of God. You may feel like crying for no reason. That is not sadness. That is release. That is deliverance. That is heaven pulling the last threads of pain from the corners of your soul. My child, my beloved, you are not behind. You are not late. You are not broken. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you need to be, and this message is proof. What you do next will echo for generations. And the blessing that is coming will not just touch your life. It will heal your bloodline. It will correct the generational wounds you never spoke of. It will open doors your family never even dreamed possible. But first, you must obey this sacred instruction: remain still. Say less. Pray more. Detach from what tried to destroy you gently. It's not your responsibility to fix what lied to you. It's your responsibility to protect the light God placed within you, and that light is getting brighter every second you stay in truth. My child, my beloved, in the next 7 days, a divine appointment will be placed in your path, and how you respond to it will set the tone for your entire year. This is not just another week. This is not another slow cycle of waiting. No, this is the beginning of a spiritual chain reaction. What you surrendered, what you let go of, what you finally released has sent a signal into the heavens. And now, I come to deliver this truth to you: God has released the next portion of your destiny. And this portion does not come in delay, it comes in layers of overflow. Do not look for it with your natural eyes. You must feel it first. You must protect the vision. Because the enemy